This is lesson 3.5, slope of linear relations algebraically. In this lesson, you will learn how to calculate the slope of a linear function from two ordered pairs. So when you learned about slope initially, I introduced the equation that we have here, m, which is slope, equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Really, it means the second y subtract the first y over the second x subtracting the first x. So it does help if you go ahead and identify these. This is your first x and your first y, your second x and your second y. For other students, it helps if they actually set up their fraction bar and their two subtraction signs. And then another tool is you can use arrows to help keep you organized in your math. So you're going to take your second y, which is 5, subtract your first y, which is -1. And then you're going to take your second x, which is 10, subtract your first x, which is 6. So we have a double negative here, which becomes 5 plus 1, which is 6, over 4. You need to make sure your fraction is simplified, and we can divide by 2, which is 3 halves. So m is 3 halves. You don't need to change it to a decimal or a mixed fraction. We actually like slope left as an improper fraction. Once you start graphing lines in future lessons, you'll understand why it's easier to have it in this format. So next, we have the second y is -8 minus -5 over -18 minus -17. We have two double negatives, so it's -8 plus 5 over -18 plus 17 is -3 over -1. Now you are not done because this can be simplified. A negative divided by negative is a positive 3. You can state your answer as 3 or 3 over 1. I typically will just put 3. Okay, next one. We have 1 minus 4 over 8 minus 8 is -3 over 0. If you recall in the previous lesson, we cannot divide by 0, and we would have an undefined number. So our slope is undefined. Remember, an undefined line is that vertical line, x equals some number. In this case, x equals 8, and it is not a function. Next one. We have 5 minus 5 over -19 minus -12 is 0 over -7. Whenever you have a 0 in the numerator divided by a number, your answer will be 0. So the slope is 0. Recall a slope of 0 would be a horizontal line. Notice how our y's are both 5, so it's really the equation y equals 5. Okay, and then this last one here, we have -5 minus 13 over 10 minus -17. That is -18 over 27. That can be simplified with a 9 down to -2/3. Something I want to point out to you real quickly The negative for that could be on the top, in the middle, or on the bottom. All three of these numbers are the same. They all represent negative 2/3 because there's one negative on the number. This is the most common way you see it written. So m is negative 2/3. That concludes the lesson on calculating slope from two-ordered pairs.